Hi guys, you're watching Total Carp Fishing TV. Today I'll be running through the key features and the key differences between the more compact HD3 alarm and the larger, more feature-packed HD5 alarm. So let's crack on with those features. So the first key difference that you'll notice between the two alarms is the size of them. This alarm really is so much more compact, and that's due to having no actual inbuilt speaker in the alarm head itself. All of the audible indication on the HD3 is sent through to the receiver, and that's allowed them to use a much smaller battery in there, less electronic components, and therefore keep it all down to a really compact size. But the great thing is that due to not having that speaker in there, it drains less of that battery, and so they've still got a really good battery life. So the next key difference that you'll notice on the alarms is actually how you turn them off and on. So on the HD3 alarm, you've just got this little button under here, which if you hold it down for a second, it'll come on, and then you can also click it again to put the night marking on. Then over here on the HD5 alarm, you've actually just got a little switch, and you switch it one way for the day mode, and then the opposite direction for the night mode. So speaking of batteries, the HD3 takes an MN21 battery, that's a little small cylindrical one, and then the HD5 takes the regular 9-volt, the big chunky square battery. So then other key differences between the alarms, you can obviously see that the HD5 alarm has 4 dials on the front, whereas the HD3 only has 2, and that's because obviously with the audible indication on the HD5, you've also got volume and tone settings on there. Now you can also change the volume and tone on the HD3 alarm, but again that's done all from the receiver. The final key difference between the two alarms is, obviously, with that change in size and shape, you've got a slightly deeper ingress for your rod on the HD5 alarm. So now onto the key features shared between the two alarms. As you can see, you've got the micro-adjustable sensitivity dial there. You've also got a dial for changing the actual colour of the dual LEDs at the top. Then moving into the top of the alarms, you can see that you've got soft, rubberised inserts, and these stop your rods from slipping on an aggressive take. Then moving on to the bottom of the alarm, you can see both alarms have a power out socket. This one's just got a little cover over the top of it. This one's taken off so that you can see it here. And they're used for illuminated hangers. So whilst I've actually got the alarms in my hand, I'll quickly run through the volume and tone and sensitivity settings so that you can see what they're like. So you've got from really high volume all the way down to silence, for those sneaky little scenarios where you don't want to let people know that you're catching. Then on tone, you've got low tone all the way to really high pitched tone. You'll also notice there that you've got drop back differentiation too. So you get a slightly lower tone as you get a drop back. In terms of sensitivity, that runs through from really high sensitivity there all the way to a much lower sensitivity. Say you're fishing in conditions like this, with waves crashing over your rods and you've got bits of weed flying everywhere. You don't want that alarm beeping every 10 seconds, do you? With the colour wheel, you can choose from a choice of 6 different colours: red, green, blue, yellow, purple and white. And the LEDs have a 20-second latching time. So another feature of the alarms is you've got an extra long stainless steel thread with a locking collar there, and that's provided to accommodate the use of your hockey pucks and also snag ears if you so desire. So now let's move on to taking a look at the receivers for the two alarms, the HDR3 and the HDR5. Let's start off with HDR3, which, as the name suggests, pairs up to the HD3 alarm. Okay, so first let's run through some of the features on the receiver itself. So the receiver has a range of 100 to 150 metres in clear conditions. Up on the top of the receiver, you've got a small switch there, which can be turned to standard LED mode, or if you switch it to the right, that also has a vibration mode on there. You've got 4 LED channels there, volume and tone dials, which obviously, as a HD3 alarm doesn't have volume, you control that all through the receiver head itself here. Then on the side, you've got the C and L buttons. The C is, as the letter suggests, to change the colour of the LEDs, and then the L is to link up with the alarms. So if we take a look at that in action, switch it over onto the LED and volume mode. There you go, that's sure to wake you from any slumber. And like I mentioned, you've also got the vibration mode, which doesn't have volume, but that's vibrating there, so even that will wake you if you stick it under your pillow. Also, if you want to change the tone, you can do that via the tone dial there. So both the HDR3 and HDR5 come with a range of attachments and accessories. As you can see here, you've got a nice little stand, so you can leave that on your bivvy table and it's nicely set up there. You've also then got on the back, there's a little clip here for when you're attaching it to your belt loop, or there's also this little push-in attachment. If you pull that out, pop that in, you can then clip that onto a lanyard, which you can hang around your neck or hang off one of the spokes you've brought in. Another useful feature is that there's also a low battery indicator on both the receiver and alarm head. So the alarms you can buy either as individual alarm heads or in sets of 2, 3 and 4 alarms with a receiver, prices of which are shown below. All alarms come in a protective hard case, and when bought as a set they come in a padded presentation case.